and welcome to the SmackDown preview. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture, joined by another one of Dally Boys, Micheal Hamflett from WhatCulture, here to look ahead to tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. Where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review SmackDown, but also Raw, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete with a very good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Micheal Hamflett to look ahead to tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Apologies for my slight unprofessionalism in the intro there. It's just we have so much to get through today.
It is a big show, and there's quite a bit of stuff on SmackDown too.
Yeah, genuinely. They should call it Friday Night Shelves because this show is so stacked.
Stack down, not enough for you? Stack up, if anything.
It is genuinely really... it's going to get lost in what's about to happen. And shout out, as always, to Brian Weddig, the man behind the brilliant SmackDown Photoshop, for providing us with a list of things we promised to talk about at the start of the week for the SmackDown preview, including a world record attempt. But looking at this, and now knowing that there is light at the end of the 3-hour tunnel.
Well, we've been here before, but yes, I want to live in the world again where the 3-hour SmackDowns are coming to an end. August, I think.
Yes. Some people I saw in response to our news, actually talking about the news that we were talking about. Some of them.
A lot of them had some other things to say. More on that later.
Were saying that they quite like 3-hour SmackDown, and I'm glad to have compadres in that respect. I don't think it's been, like, god-awful. I think some of it has not lived up to expectations, especially when you compare it to the 3-hour Raws that we were enjoying before it went back to 2 and a bit, or whatever it is, on Netflix. Having said that, looking at this lineup, along with all the other stuff that's no doubt going to go on this show with the Wyatt Six or whatever, King of the Ring semi-final, Queen of the Ring semi-final, to presumably end of Jacob Fatu and involvement in the bloodline, or official involvement in the bloodline, WWE legend set to show up, and Ron Killings getting his hands on John Cena.
Yeah. Last week was a bit of a step in the right direction, wasn't it? In terms of how they filled the time. It didn't feel like they were stretching out matches, stretching out promos, occupying space with nothing. There was a real, I don't know, like an energy about it. There was dare I say it, a Monday Night Raw-like element to it, that being half the roster. And then that's played out again a little bit on Raw as well. The abandoning of the brand split of late has benefited SmackDown way more than Raw. Like, the 3-hour era, it's not exactly one to eulogize particularly. You could probably count on one hand, one wrist, as Sidge put it, on the podcast. It's confusing me earlier this week. The amount of, like, truly good episodes. Luckily for us, we broadcast it on an 80-foot screen.
Yeah.
That was good. Go home episode before WrestleMania was good at the HyperX. Otherwise, not a period for this show I will look back on fondly. Said this before, like, if you've watched these podcasts regularly, the SmackDown coverage, you will note a certain tongue-in-cheek element to them. We've been known. You have to kind of spot, you have to really look for it.
Bleeding into quite a few other podcasts now.
We'll sometimes veer off the tracks a little bit, but people don't probably catch it. It's probably us. You know, that sort of thing where, like, if you don't tell people that you're, like, making a little fumble, making a little mistake, or going off a tangent, they don't even notice.
Yeah.
It's maybe been so subtle that people haven't even noticed it's happening. But every now and then, when we're previewing and reviewing the matches, the angles, the promos, the stars, we'll sometimes, like, go off in a different direction. And, like, maybe I'm kind of, like, pulling the curtain back a little bit, but people, like, don't even know. And that was born out of the Thunderdome era of SmackDown.
Yes.
Where, I mean, there was nothing.
There was nothing. Again, nothing.
Nothing. We are 5 years or so, maybe 4 years or so removed from the infamous Bayley laughs and laughs and laughs and laughs and then just appears on more and more screens, and Bianca Belair's like, oh no, what the hell am I supposed to sell here? Fear, confusion, annoyance, anything? Is this anything? And that was how we kind of got off on this strange, wicked journey of like kind of having to bring a bit of levity to the SmackDown coverage. Then it got goated. No time for levity. Too good. At least that's the excuse why there's none when we cover AEW. But the people get mad. But now, like the 3-hour one's kind of been the worst version of it because the reviews especially, you are such a fantastic recapper. And I think this even more when you're off than when you're in. And I like listening to your recaps when we're sat here. The SmackDown matches when, like, I don't know how you hide that they got on the whiteboard, so-and-so versus so-and-so, 8 minutes, 3 hours, rub off 8 minutes. 21 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know how you recap it and make it look like it was meant to be that length all along because the stretching out and elongating of heat sequences or stuff that otherwise would be confined to a commercial break, unless, of course, you've got NordVPN, which I believe, as of right now, you can get a 76% discount.
Yeah, I don't know if we're allowed to promote it here, but yeah.
Right, well, watch the news for more information about that then. And mini eggs.
We can get our own deal.
Oh, can we?
That's what I'm working on.
All right. Oh, excellent. Oh, well, yeah, don't listen to me then. Listen to it in a couple of weeks when we've actually got a deal for it.
Deal's dead now, so great. That's
all
for
good.
that. Cheers, mate.
Different deals, different needs, different channels.
I'm sure they'll understand.
I'm learning. It's all good. They are all good stuff, /services, depending on what we're advertising. What was I talking about? SmackDown is still 3 hours, 1 day.
To be honest, I'll be quite happy if they extend the matches they have on this show. Like,
they've got real consequences, these ones tonight.
Yeah. We'll talk a bit about it now. We'll smatter our SmackDown coverage amongst our bollocks.
Do whatever you want down there in your own time, mate. I'd like a bit more notice if that's what we're going to be doing on the internet. No wonder the sponsors don't want to come on if that's what we're dressing up as a preview these days.
But Brian has, as you mentioned, made this Photoshop of the Cody list that he made of what wrestlers he wanted to face when he left WWE.
Yes. Yeah.
Of things we need to mention. Some we may not even get around to this week, but we'll tick all of them off eventually. Just before we get into one thing on SmackDown.
This is us smattering in our bollocks.
Indeed.
Right.
Is the Wolf segment dead?
Yeah, I think it's all good Wolf.
We've always got that dog in us, but
But after like several seasons, it was becoming not that believable that more people wouldn't find out about that boy having the dog in him.
We've got different kids shows that we have to discuss in due course.
Yes.
But speaking of kid favourites, John Cena, now a heel, of course.
Yeah.
Facing Ron Killings. R-Truth tonight. I sense this is going to be a very different match to the one we saw at Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
But you had a great pitch for this as well.
Well, I sense it's the one that a lot of people had.
Yeah.
When I couldn't really take credit for it, but it feels like, so a couple of things here. It feels as though because the R-Truth finish wasn't the initial finish for Money in the Bank, I don't think this goes particularly well for R-Truth. I think this is almost a little bit of stubborn booking from Triple H, who, despite in the Money in the Bank press conference, been like, enjoying the show, guys. Like, well, I don't think he was enjoying the show because I don't think he'd planned to have R-Truth running at the end of that match. So I think he's paying it off tonight. I think John Cena beats R-Truth again, although this time it's a more of a hard-fought thing. It's a more back-and-forth thing. Cena is forced into taking it far more seriously than he took it at Saturday night's main event, and is given more of a reason to. R-Truth, actually is on offense for most of it. He seemed like he's got him beat. He's dominant, all that kind of stuff. And Cena has to cheat to win in the end. But in doing so, I strongly believe that a weapon, a bunch of weapons will be out there, including the Slim Jim table.
Oh my God.
Which will be lent up against the, it'd be like a Chekhov Slim Jim table. That's what we've always called it. Be lent up against the post. It doesn't get used. And then.
Doesn't have Slim Jims for legs.
Not yet. We're working on that though. Like meat stick legs, Slim Jim brand. And I still think they should have a Slim Jim through the middle so the wrestler goes right through the brand. Little shards of the brand sort of fly everywhere. Love a piece of Slim Jim table. I was telling you this week I've got a piece of the Berlin Wall at home.
That's so wild.
But piece of the Berlin Wall.
Legally?
Yeah. My brother was in Berlin after it had come down, and I think you could just go and get
That's
a bit.
Mad, yeah.
Because it was obviously there was so much rubble.
Also, they used to just sell them at a gift shop.
Did they?
Yeah.
That made sense, I suppose, doesn't it? If you had a
I think
shot there, you'd wanna be.
there will be one I had somewhere.
Yeah.
But long since gone.
Yeah, so in that
For some reason in my head, it's like a full section, not like
no. It's
a block.
It's a bit like grey concrete with some graffiti on or something.
Could be the bit that what's his name stood on. That's the man from Baywatch.
David Hasselhoff. Yeah, right as it was coming down.
Yeah,
maybe he slow ran across it.
Yes,
in his audition for Baywatch. No, in a similar vein, in a similar like historic artifact, I would like a piece of Slim Jim table.
Yeah.
And I might get that if I was in the crowd here, because I believe that John Cena will go through a table even when he is victorious over R-Truth.
Oh my God.
So that they can replicate the shot the last time R-Truth put John Cena through a table in a corner, and it was when CM Punk sat cross-legged at the top of the stage and started his pipe bam, and we get a version of that shot tonight, and it's one that we can sell because it's got a Slim Jim logo all over it, and then Punk cuts another promo on John Cena.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Cena wins, obviously, to try and, because it's weird, you can't really have the question of like, will CM Punk become world champion? And also, R-Truth still want to fight John Cena for the world championship after beating him here, hanging over all this, especially with like the Cody stuff as well, going forward with King of the Ring. I really like the idea, of he cheats, but he beats him. And then he's like, nah, I'm going to put him away properly here.
Yeah.
And he just sets up to do his classic belt shot into a table, basically. So he's going to smash him in the face with the belt, and he's going to fall back into the table. And I don't know, R-Truth moves, and as dangerous as that clearly is this week, drop toe holds John Cena into the table, for example, or like he did, obviously, just reverses and tackles him through it. Yeah, if we get a CM Punk takedown, I'm going to lose my nut.
Okay. I think I'm going to be very excited too.
Just a quick interjection. This feels like an interesting time. There was a quote that I'm sure you've both read that I would like you to tack onto this, if you don't mind. From Nick Khan. You see this? Heard about this?
I don't think I did.
Basically, he's talking about how they encourage the creative team and how they write the shows. Did you see this?
Yeah.
Saying that they encourage the creative team and writers to not program for, the IWC, if you like. Don't program for the universe, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there.
So what you're saying is, like, people on podcasts like this one, they take ideas for that.
So, like, all your lovely ideas there, straight in the bin.
No, it's you've misunderstood, Nicholas.
Disagree.
You're saying like the people that criticize and the people that just offer empty criticisms, whereas we obviously celebrate how brilliant SmackDown is every single week. They're probably using us for guidance, if anything. That's what I take from that.
Yeah.
They said it before. They play this at dinner time ahead of their last creative meeting, and then it's tearing up the plans once they've heard the stuff on the SmackDown.
Absolutely.
Preview. That's why we get it out as early as we can.
They're breaking records on Friday Night SmackDown, aren't they?
They are indeed. Wilbourn.
Before we get to yours, I want to give a quick shout out to, and I also want to message Micheal Sidgwick because he wants to come up and see this. I want to give a shout out to the wonderful Andrew Ebling, who's got a lovely photo with me outside Wembley Stadium, I believe, after All In last year.
Nice.
Keep an eye on my socials for a bit of an elite announcement later on today, by the way. Andrew tweeted at us regarding another record we could attempt. Posted just yesterday by Lad Bible on their Instagram. The world record for drinking a Capri Sun, including inserting the straw, is... What are you going for? Shout out to Indian speed drinker Faiz Nazer, who smashed the record in May of 2023.
The straw's the bit, like, it's not the drinking. You can drink that. You can drink a... Sorry, you said Capri Sun, didn't you? Just throw me because I would say Capri Sun, but that's all right. I'm sure both.
Oh, yeah.
But like, you could drink the drink.
I would say Capri. I know I've read it like that.
You could drink the drink in one squeeze, I reckon. Just a full straight in the gob.
Yeah.
But the straw.
Do you want the rules, actually? The rules are as follows. Start with your hands flat, unwrap the straw, and puncture the pouch. Puncture the pouch only once the timer starts.
Yeah, that's...
Nazer reportedly oh, that's just going to give you the time. So
I think that's the thing that you would be wasting a lot of Capri Suns practicing, because you got to get that first time. Like, I don't think I've ever done that in my life. First time straight through. Especially now the straws are paper.
Oh, God.
Seen the shit about this? Like that?
Yeah, this is another bloody... It's a woke section.
Oh, God. We're never doing that.
Coming up later, Thomas the Woke Engine. Stick around.
Yeah. It's not part of a broader section. We're not like, Wilbourn's serious talk. Because that's a job, the drinking bit's quick. 7 seconds.
8.02 seconds.
Yeah, it's the straw.
I think I've got a shot of that, you know.
I'd like to watch it. The drinking bit,
Naser reportedly needed about 3.5 seconds to prep it, then slurp the whole 100, 200 mil in under 5.
Don't like the word slurp.
He's not a one-trick pony either. He also holds the records for the fastest peeling and eating of 3 clementines.
Clementine, yeah. That's Mark Owen.
Fastest 80-gram watercress chug. Don't know what that means.
80 grams, what?
Is that just...
It's cress, straight in the mouth. Love cress. It's so stupid.
I thought it was a bit you, because you're...
So stupid, cress in it.
When you go on a bit of a health kick and you just turn around and you're just chowing down on a bit of iceberg lettuce or whatever.
Like, I love cress. It's like eating grass or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you're allowed.
You're allowed. And most hula hoop arm spins in 1 minute. He had me in the first half there. I'm a big hula hoop guy, but not...
The crisps.
Yeah, not the actual exercise.
My kids are pretty good at hula hoops. I can't do them at all. I think they've like...
Who's the comedian? James Acaster's very good at hula
hooping.
hooping. He learnt it for a Taskmaster.
Oh, okay, right.
And then he bottled it when he was meant to show it off.
Oh,
and,
no.
Did like one spin and then was like, I've been practicing for ages, and then showed how like mint he is.
But it was after
Darren
the
O'Brien
fact.
was like, first try. So, do you want to give a quick backstory? What I mentioned to Michael Sidgwick that the time is now.
Jacob's Crackers on SmackDown, isn't he?
Yes.
He's bloody nuts. And hopefully we'll see that exhibited tonight in a segment with Solo Sikoa.
I forgot our intro to this. Thank you for...
Yeah. Solo Sikoa and one half of Daft Punk last week told Jacob Fatu that he'll forgive him for the absolutely brutal attack at Money in the Bank. Just come back into the fold.
Costing him everything.
Come back into the fold. We'll call it a draw. Jacob's obviously not going to do that.
Yeah.
And he's going to snap and he's going to attack him tonight.
Here he is.
Hey, Sidgie's final. This is where we go. Twist. There was never a cracker record attempt. Welcome to the SmackDown review. You're here now.
Sorry, Sid. You need to see this. You've just done something absolutely incredible. The people at home aren't going to be able to see this. Look where those sunglasses landed on that hat over there.
They're up there. Oh, yes. Wait there. Bring the whole head. That's amazing.
That's so
That
good.
is outrageous.
We should have recorded that for a record.
Quick,
attempt.
go. You're done. That's it. You've done everything now. You're not going to top
It's like the George Costanza
that.
thing.
That's it. That's me.
I fully expect Jacob to not accept Solo's invitation and then potentially getting beaten up by Hikuleo, maybe.
Yes. Yeah, he's meant to say, all he wants from Jacob is those 4 words, which is, of course, I love you, Solo.
I don't think he's going to get him.
Remember in, 1999, they just hadn't really told Bryan Adams et al. That the NWO was just done.
Yeah.
And they were just like outwardly referred to on commentary as the B team.
Comes the B team, yeah.
And then like, no one had told, we're done here. And they were just walking around in the T-shirts. That's this, like the bloodline's done.
We finally got a name for them. The B-line.
The B-line! The B-line! B-line! I'm sure he's glad I'm here.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what Sidge brings. We see, that's a bit of silliness. We never get around to that when you're on it here. You brought that to the table. Speaking of bringing things to the table.
Brian's made a list, a Cody-esque list of all the things we need to get through on the podcast today.
Okay.
It's a busy one.
So the creative director.
Still to come, Thomas the Woke Engine, don't forget.
Go on, bro.
I don't know
So what are we...
I don't like that. So the record is ridiculous.
What is it?
Something like 40 seconds or something. That's too quick. 30, we looked last week, 30 odd, 40 seconds, that's not happening. But we discussed a long time ago, due to my enjoyment of dry food, dry content in general, some would say.
Yes, I found it here, sorry. Ambrose Mendy ate 3 cream crackers in 34.78 seconds at LBC back in 2005. Katie Hopkins adjudicated.
That's a shame.
It's a shame.
Although she'd probably approve of your Thomas the Tank Engine feature idea. I can confidently say that's not happening. But I said at the time, I think I could do it in under a minute. And I remembered that being like the Big Brother challenge at the time. Way back when.
Yeah.
It was like that one, 3 cream crackers in under a minute. And I watched it at the time. This is going on like 25 years ago and thought, I could do that. And then just never tried. Never tried. There was another one where it was like eating, was it peas maybe? Either peas or sweet corn kernels or something with a toothpick. How many of them you could eat in them. All these challenges in a minute and the house would get a prize or whatever.
Dear 43, Michael's going to eat some crackers in under a minute.
On the internet. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, we
Fastest time to eat a Kit Kat with no hands here. Fastest time to eat a muffin, no hands.
no hands stuff is so undignified, isn't it? Just
Well, I mean, you're on a podcast. You're about
shoving your face into food. At least I'm going to use my hands.
Fastest time to eat a chocolate orange.
not much dignity there, though.
And that's why I said you see it.
Exactly. I want to see you lose your dignity.
It's all that long time ago.
Fastest time to eat a
Did he
chocolate
ever have it?
orange.
Well, you raise a great point there, sir.
57 seconds.
What's that for?
Whole chocolate orange.
Whole chocolate orange.
Oh, I could do that.
I'll do that.
I could do that.
Yeah. I'd be sick afterwards, but I'd do it. It's fine.
Just halfway the.
That's typically a reward for my eating.
I'll try the.
Are you allowed to break it first, or does the breaking have to be included? You need to lob those on the floor, don't you?
Doesn't say.
Doesn't say. You know those big sort of Christmas-sized Galaxy chocolate? Oh, I could do one of them in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Easy.
Because it's smooth, isn't it?
Smooth milk chocolate.
Just like you remember it.
First food smuggled into space. Is that a record?
Taffy.
Yeah, it's got to be something like that.
No, because that's allowed. You don't have to smuggle taffy.
Oh, crisps. Like the Simpsons gag.
A corned beef sandwich it was.
Corned beef sandwiches. It's your favorite.
I got into space by accident, Brett. I don't know how I'm on the ship.
I always wanted to go into space, man. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I brought Neidhart to NASA by mistake. The big rhinos on the ship.
The big rhinos on the moon.
He's going to be the first rhino on the moon, Brett. The self-appointed moon landing by a
The
rhino.
self-appointed astronaut. I just do like the exact mock-up of Neidhart that was on the table I need to see on the moon right now.
Yeah. In an astronaut helmet that's been reshaped to include his beard.
Yes.
Right, I have my stopwatch at the ready.
Oh my God, I can't wait for
I
this.
don't know how this is going to go. I have no idea. I don't know what.
Thank God you're here because we can do
I feel like I
some-
know exactly how this is going to go. I'm
So
looking
you
forward to
have
it.
34.78
That's not happening.
seconds.
A minute, I reckon.
Okay.
You need 3, 2, 1, go, or
Yeah, I'll say go.
I think it's going to go one in straight away from the beginning. We'll see where we
Oh, I like this. Talk about his strategy.
we'll talk about the strategy first. Yes.
I don't, because you could definitely do all three, but I think you're going to cause yourself more trouble if you do. Because you've got to start getting rid of it. Can't
You're
just
not allowed to drink water, are you?
No, that would ruin the point, wouldn't it? You can't just store it in your cheeks. Like you've got to get rid of it. I remember that from the challenge. It was
What
like,
about,
no, you
what
gotta
about 2 then 1? What about 1? See how you go, and if you
Yeah.
start to run out of time,
That's the way to
get
go.
the
I
2.
reckon, yeah. We'll try 1 just all the way in, and I'll work on the rest subsequently. This could be like minutes, and it could.
What if it's a world record?
Yeah.
I don't think it's
I
gonna
don't
be
think
well.
it doesn't count because we haven't got an official adjudicator.
Ah, right, okay.
But nevertheless, are you ready, Michael
I'm
Hamflett?
ready. I'm excited, actually. Quite hungry.
Okay.
I don't know if you're as excited as Sid is. I feel like he's very excited.
It goes so wrong. It's like it's been 4 minutes. Whoa!
Wait,
Right.
do we have a protocol for if he starts choking and he's about to die?
Yeah, me and Sid will finish doing the SmackDown preview.
Yeah, fair enough.
Don't worry, guys.
Yeah, good.
Right, are you ready?
Wouldn't want to deny the people.
There's a
who can't.
guy here with his mouthful talking complete nonsense. But enough about Malachi Black. Michael Hamflett's on the verge of death.
Actually, do you want to do the countdown so I can time the go?
Yes.
Okay, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
Straight in the whole thing. Oh, he's going to snap him up by himself. I'll tell you what, he's flying here. Come on, you've got this. Don't talk to us. Don't worry about talking to us. You just focus on the crackers, mate. That's all you want to do, okay? Just think about what Luke O'Neill would do in this sort of scenario.
Yeah.
Dan Ballard, you're 20 seconds in. How is that the last one? He's nearly there. I'll tell you what, it's going to be tight, this. They're all in. All the crackers are in. Don't talk. You are doing so well here. I'm really impressed. I'm ready to stop whenever you are.
Face. It's like Shane McMahon cutting that promo.
Are we done?
Dumb.
I tell you what.
I reckon if I wasn't popping him, he might have actually did it.
With a bit of training, it was 1 minute and 4 seconds.
I wanted it under a minute.
But we can revisit this.
Yeah, we can do it
Forget
next
world
week.
records. This is about PBs. And I think...
It's dusty in there, Brett.
But I think that was... I'm going to give you a...
Thanks, guys.
With a participation trophy. That's nice.
A minute and 4, though. I got better in me than that. I do.
You got 3 more crackers?
I don't.
Ah.
Do downstairs.
Nick, listen, you had a nice close-up of that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Plenty of that.
What's left to discuss on SmackDown?
I love dry crackers. Genuinely, I like them. There's
There's lots to discuss. So what are you going to try and attempt? What was the one you said you were going to go for?
I'm not doing it.
Oh, the chocolate orange you thought you could do.
I could, yeah, but dealing in hypotheticals here, I'm not.
Fastest time to eat a pizza with a knife and fork? 23 seconds. That's insane.
It's insane, Jeremy. Is there anything left to preview on SmackDown?
There's lots and lots of stuff to do. We've got to talk about our weekend plans as well. We need to find out what the SmackDown general manager's name is.
It's Nick Aldis.
Didn't come through on the audio.
Oh, and we have a big section regarding... have you asked Sidgwick his preferences Disney characters?
We talked about this in the office. Animated characters, non-human, don't make it weird, that you had lustful thoughts for as a child / sexual attraction at any point.
None.
Come on.
No, I didn't.
Not a single one.
No.
Adult Nala, you said.
Adult Nala from The Lion King.
I'll go through I never fancied an animal, bro. Do you want to go through my crush history instead before I go back
That's
to
great,
my...
yeah.
And then I'll read out some of the comments we got. We got a lot of feedback on the news for this.
So I was born 1985.
My first crush as a baby was Cyndi Lauper.
When I was in year 2, how old would I have been? So that's like, what, 6, 7? I turned. So 6, 7, I had a little girlfriend called Roxanne Robson. She pecked me on the cheek in class.
That's nice.
But you finished her because of her alliterative name.
Correct.
Just didn't know whether she was going to get promoted to the main roster or not.
Yeah. Then, what year? So basically, I think at 9. At 9, I'm going full Wilbourn at 9 years old. I think Jasmine from Aladdin, when I was 9 years old, was a bit like, oh.
How do with the body?
How do with the body? The first time it was like that. Dun, 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 dun. The Fast Times at Ridgemont High moment where you're like, oh my
I thought you were doing real
God.
American. I was going to say.
Oh my God, chicks. The very first time was Cameron Diaz in The Mask.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
I was distinctly
Smart
at the
already,
I distinctly remember at the cinema, she did the whole hair toss.
Comes in from the rain.
Trying to rein in the cum.
And I was just like, oh my God. Now I distinctly remember, sat down, having learned like how the cinema works. I'd been before. It was like, they just do like, just repeat the showings. I was like, if we just, and I said to my mum, I want to see that bit with Cameron Diaz again. And I remember sitting down going, if we just sit here, can we watch it again?
Come stay.
Can we just stay and watch it again? It's like, no, I'd have to buy another ticket. I'll do that then. I want to see Cameron Diaz. And then Pammy Anderson.
Yeah.
And then, snowballed. Not literally. But, never met her. But it's all snowballed from there. See you later, guys.
Thank you, Marcus Sidgwick.
Thanks, Sidge.
Bye, Sidgwick.
Right. Should we read out some others?
Yeah, apparently.
Because
So I said I wanted to shag a teapot, Mrs. Potts from Beauty and the Beast.
And then were you corrected, or was Mrs. Potts?
I said
actually the
said
right-
Mrs. Chips, which you got confused. Yeah.
Mrs. Yes, not to be. That's the wife
Chip
of
is-
Mr. Chips from Catchphrase.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which also, but
So yeah, we had a lot. Mark hyphen bunch of numbers. Weird, sexy cartoon characters. You have to go with Gadget from Chippendale Rescue Rangers, and then Polly Nice replied straight away, what you mean, all of our first crush? So Gadget, I guess Rescue Rangers pop on. Eric Mookie Gary, I had a crush on Cheetara from Thundercats. Sonny Dunbar replied, as you should. Matty replied, same. Real Evans 99 Devil replied, beat off time, boys. Jose Jimenez said the Baroness from G.I. Joe. GD Nickel 92 said, if you see Mirko from My Hero Academia, you'll see why a lot of people love her. Cha Cha TV said Jessica Rabbit from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah,
that's a lady though, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's that human. Don't make it weird.
There was a other rabbit that was the obvious answer from
Lola Bunny.
Yeah,
a lot of love for Lola Bunny.
Yeah.
And one more coming soon. WJJW, the Demigod, Low Punny from Pokemon, Roxanne from Goofy Movie, Vixie from Fox and the Hound, Goldie from Rockadoodle. So
quite the lineup.
Understood the assignment. The Man 86, come on, nobody's mentioned Roxanne from Goofy Movie yet. Well, I can't be the only one, so they popped up just before. Cappy Jones, does She-Hulk count? What do we think? Because
it's close to a human. I think it's a grey area, a green area.
That's good. It's a green area. You decide if She-Hulk counts in your own time. Has nobody mentioned the Cadbury's Caramel Bunny yet? Yummy. That's from DJ Stevie 69.
They're talking about language. No one mentioned the laughing cow in there?
No, but that would be one for you, wouldn't it? The laughing cow.
Laugh. Still treasure the day when I got a response from the laughing cow. So you're telling me there's a chance?
Coquettish laugh.
And Louise, pack your bags.
And move out.
Hey!
Carmelita Fox from the Sly Cooper series, that's Von today. Maid Marian as a fox from the animated Robbie Hood film was hot.
That's
agree.
a great show.
I like that it specified Maid Marian as a fox, otherwise it wouldn't count. Shane Campbell 7423 says Steel Heart from Silverhawks and Cheetara from Thundercats. A lot of love for Cheetara. Chaster for 33 says Maid Marian from Robin Hood for sure. I've heard a few friends say Sebastian. I'm assuming that's from The Little Mermaid.
Yes.
Sebastian.
Under the sea.
Yeah. Another L word says
Cheetara, yeah, she got it going out.
Minerva Mink from Animaniacs. Soulless Min says Arky in Transformers and Applejack in My Little Pony. Envoy 2500.
Whoa. I'll check here. I think My Little Pony might be.
Envoy 2500 has kind of taken my idea and ran with it. Nala from The Lion King, where have you gone? Fuck. Nala from The Lion King, specifically in that one scene where she gives Simba the bedroom eyes. So we all know what. Yeah. There's more. Don't worry, we're carrying this on.
Mimi, I'm not sure if you got Mimi's there, but Mimi Burris, friend of the podcast, said she had a bit of a thing for the clock from Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
I saw that.
I've seen there's been other ones for the clock from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
I literally haven't collated them all, despite the amount I've got here. Jason Lee 3759 piles in. Yep, Gadget was hot. Rescue Rangers. Chad Sherrill 7559. Candy Kong from Donkey Kong Country could always get it. A couple of emojis after that. Sean Scott, the toaster from the Brave Little Toaster. Everybody's had intrusive thoughts about a toaster.
That one popped me. I saw that one.
Dave Taylor 2645.
Dave Taylor.
Mrs. Potato Head if Pixar counts. I think it does.
Yeah.
Yep. Blake Mikos 196, obviously Roxanne from a Goofy Movie. I like the certainty. Like, we need to probably check Roxanne from a Goofy Movie because there's a lot of like definitive love.
Yeah, I get it.
Captain Teach 1, the women characters from Cool World. Gil Gunderson, the Pokemon Jinx, could get it from me. Chang 916 was one of my favourites. Olaf got that wood. Lol, I mean carrot.
Good.
So wants to shag the snowman from Frozen. Massive respect
Jinx,
for that.
yeah, I get it.
The Dean Show, Torna from Crash Bandicoot. I like Girl Crash.
How are we spelling that?
Tawna.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Brent Tom Lonovic has given us, or might be Tom Lonovich, has given us quite the story here, and I appreciate the sharing, so I feel like we should share and share alike. I was at the age where I was just starting to become interested in women when The Little Mermaid came out. Young me was so confused by Mermaid Ariel. She was essentially naked from the waist down, but she was a fish. But she was naked from the waist down, but she was a fish. I was so conflicted and confused. A lot of people went there. Tiger Jones 5296, Route 1, Gadget Rescue Rangers. Oz Wrestling, Leela from Futurama. Where are we at with that? That's a VAR check. Because, like...
That's just a person with one
That's
eye.
a person.
That's a person, isn't it? But it's like a space person, so does it count?
One eye, ain't she, Leela?
Yes.
Yeah, thought so.
Space person from the future, but still counts as a person.
I think so.
Getting down to the nitty-gritty now. Frank for South Miami, Bugs Bunny in drag. That was a popular one. Balbroni. I still find Ordino and Wigglytuff from Pokemon kind of hot.
Wigglytuff.
I mean...
Still finds a bit.
Caseyman9656 says Bugs Bunny in drag. Yeah. Running Man Lee...
Wayne's World, is that? Yeah, that's Wayne's World, isn't it?
Is that right?
The way he says, did you find Bugs Bunny in drag?
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. Running Man Lee 6538 says Rouge the Bat. And Coventry Josh, sorry about the semi-finals, but not that much. Sally Carrera from Cars. I actually get that. Like, I know there was that Channel 4 documentary about that guy shoving his knob in the exhaust pipe that did a lot of damage to the people that enjoy shagging cars in that community. But Sally Carrera. And last but not least,
blue one.
Last but not least, two quick ones from Just G Squared and Snarly Fiend 572, who say, respectively, bring back Murray and this trash duo still here, fire the trash on the right, FFS. So thank you for all your many contributions. We are still welcoming suggestions.
I can't believe in all of that we haven't had a shout for Lady from Lady and the Tramp or Duchess from the Aristocrats. What's going on?
Duchess from the... Can we have a look? Duchess.
Duchess.
I've not seen the Aristocrats.
Just like the mother cat.
The Had Cat.
The hot mother cat.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously Lady's Lady. You know
Lady, we know Lady.
Oh, that one there in particular.
Mm.
Yeah. Different angle, different needs.
So it's the King of the Ring semi-final tonight on SmackDown. This could evolve into a pasty bet because on our list is formalized pasty bet for Money in the Bank briefcases, but I think actually you and I are pretty together on when we think this is going to happen. I think it was a longer shot for you for saying that any Money in the Bank briefcase lasts into 2026, isn't it?
Yeah, that one's...
I don't think that's going to happen. So let's pivot this. Who have you got? Randy Orton versus Sami Zayn tonight.
Well, this is great, isn't it? Because I've got Randy Orton.
I've got Sami Zayn.
And I think it's because we've both got different wrestlers in the other semi-final on Raw for different final.
It does, yeah. It does kind of give you your answer.
But it doesn't.
Raw.
It doesn't, though. It doesn't. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso on Raw. God, I can't wait for that, by the way.
Yes.
Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso on Raw. Whoever wins, if Sami Zayn wins, right, the idea that Cody Rhodes has got to stop Sami Zayn living his dream because it's very important he gets back to where he needs to be, or Jey Uso being like, well, we've talked about competing's a good game, like best man wins and all that, isn't that right, Sami? These like friends that are going to fight, and Sami's been like they're backing him the whole time, but Karen Cross has been trying to get under his skin, and Sami Zayn himself has shown those moments of weakness nearly, and is he going to, he knows he's better than Jey Uso, and is he going to exploit that at Night of Champions, and I'll beat you in main events before, Jay, that kind of stuff, like all that's there. Randy Orton as a potential opponent for Jey Uso in a, yeah, you've called yourself main event, but I've lived it for 20 years. Mm-hmm. Like, who the hell are you? I love the idea of Orton winning tonight because I think the Orton-Cody match shows itself to be such the obvious thing.
It's huge, isn't it? Yeah.
That if they were then to go, twist, Cody can't get back to it. Jey Uso's actually won. He's going back to the title. And they just give the people yeeting at Night of Champions, and then Orton still wins. Whatever, you know, however that plays out. Because if Orton, the thing is, if Orton Jey Uso makes a final, you're fancying Jey Uso to win, aren't you? Mm-hmm. Orton's had his run at John Cena. That didn't work out. Orton's just a big name rather than the other three that are desperate to be back in the hunt. So well booked, so well constructed.
It is really good, this.
I'm going with the Orton-Cody final, but I like that you're on the total opposite end of things.
Yeah, I mean, I could easily see Sami Zayn versus Cody Rhodes as well, like you say, for all the reasons you laid out there. And I wouldn't be completely devastated if Sami doesn't win, because I think the next 12 months are Sami's, in my opinion. Yeah. I think it's going to be, at the bare minimum, a Royal Rumble win for Sami. If not, it's one of those things, isn't it? And we all do this as fans. And sometimes it ruins the rest of the experience for us because you say, oh my God, what if this happens? And then, wait a second, this would happen and this would happen and this would happen. And then you're at WrestleMania 42, right? And all that needs to happen to destroy that complete illusion is one minor result.
Yeah.
So like I've booked in my head, Sami wins here, Jay somehow wins on Monday, right? Or Cody, doesn't really matter either way. Sami wins in Saudi. Yep. Sami's king of the ring. Sami goes on to fight Gunther, which then leads us to SummerSlam. And there you can either do Sami wins or Sami's about to win. Either way, Seth Rollins cash in, and that effectively books your WrestleMania match because it's all about Sami getting back to where he should have been. Nicely sort of cyclical because it'll be almost a year since he was like, I'm not having this, with the new stable of Seth on Raw, obviously.
Of course, Sami Zayn remaining baby.
Should have joined us, blah, blah, blah.
Remaining babyface. Full stop.
Or he loses tonight and then costs Jay, for example, on Monday.
Yeah.
Because he's finally given in to Karrion
Or
Kross.
does it inadvertently.
Yeah, exactly.
There's so many different ways. I think he loses tonight. I think there is a time and a place for Sami Zayn. I don't think it's now, but I especially can't argue against the idea of him winning it in Saudi Arabia because that's where the Rumble hype has come from, isn't it? The fact that Rumble's going to be there.
Yeah.
And now here we are at something sooner. And SummerSlam needs big matches. Maybe it needs big first-time matches. Sami Zayn getting that world title shot for the first time since Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber, probably. Yep. Having said he wants to do it, having basically called his shot, you could see it.
It's what every fan wants to see, isn't it, now? There's not many things left to check off that WWE fan bucket list. Yeah, I mean, everyone has their own ones. But in terms of a collective desire for one thing to happen, it's Sami Zayn winning a singles world title, isn't it?
It's tricky, isn't it? Because I think in some respects I would like this heel turn to carry on in earnest, but then I think I would rather roar into glory as a babyface champion than see him cheat his way to it.
Cody turning heel, for example. This is way down the road.
Yeah.
I just saw that clip where he attacked Kenny Omega in New Japan.
It's great.
And he's like, what have I become? I love it. But yeah, like you say, I don't think the result necessarily spoils what happens on Monday, whoever wins here. But I think the booking of both King and Queen of the Ring this year has been pretty spot on. And I'm excited to find out what happens. I'm going to have to try and avoid spoilers on Saturday. Got big plans on Saturday. We're going to like this air show. Eric's very into planes right now.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and avoid any spoilers with all the plans that I've got. But you know what I hate, really? I really hate it when like people you consider friends like make separate plans without you and then you're not included in it and you feel like you missed out. They're really sort of fickle friends, aren't they? You two up to anything this weekend?
I'm going to, this is the thing you see. Myself and Nicholas are going to see a band called Fickle Friends tonight.
I'm joking, guys.
That's where Wilbourn. But it's because
I'm not.
Mr. Gigs 2019.
I'm never saying it again.
I think you'll
Told me
find
off last
actually
time.
he's Mr. Concerts.
I think you'll find that in your enthusiasm for my second gig of the weekend, when you suggested something, I was like, yes, which was, can I come? And I went, yes. Like, all you have to do, I know that Eric loves planes, but I think you love tunes more and you've loved them for longer. So all I need to do is abandon your son on his special day at an airfield for the first time.
Despite the fact I'm seeing uni friends next weekend.
Exactly. In the planes, get the trains and the automobiles, and get yourself down to Scarborough for an open-air Basement Jack show.
It does sound class, that. I mean, we're showing our age, but yes.
We are showing our at this point. That's like, do you know what? I love stuff like this. So you said you were listening to Remedy this morning, the first Basement Jack's album. That was the year 2000, right? So for context, I've said this before. I got into everyone gets into the Beatles if you get into the Beatles at different ages, and it's quite a strategic move by the people that look after the Beatles estate, Paul McCartney, various of the stakeholders, I guess, where there's always like new Beatles stuff, so that every generation catches the Beatles in their own way. My dad was a big Beatles fan, but there's always this time when the Beatles arrive in your life personally. There's been things like rock bands and certain hits compilations and the like. And in 1995, ahead of a song called Free as a Bird being released, ITV did a brilliant series called The Beatles Anthology. Really, really great selection of like the history of the Beatles, whatever, chronologically told. And that was kind of my introduction to the Beatles. That was 1995, right? To go back 25 years from 1995
to 1970,
the Shoot Beatles were still together. That is the same difference in time between today and the release of Remedy by Basement Jaxx.
Jesus Christ.
That's how that works. So like,
really
so I'm watching that in the 90s and I'm like, whoa, the Beatles from caveman times. And now I'm going to see Basement Jaxx of caveman times of the year 2000.
I think they played my uni leavers ball.
Well, I haven't been, Scarborough was not a gig town when I was younger growing up there. It's got an open air venue now that is what's hosting Basement Jaxx this weekend. It's hosted Kylie Minogue previously. It's hosting Will Smith this summer. Like
Can we go to that?
I've had to listen to
Going to Scarborough. Welcome to Scarborough.
It's the wild east.
Yes. Weather's going to be lush for that, though.
I hope so. Yeah, looks like it's going to be a sunny weekend.
Too hot, if anything.
Yeah, whatever. I'll be pissed. I won't feel
for you.
I won't feel the sun. I won't feel the rain. I won't feel a goddamn thing.
Join us on Monday for Adam Wilbourn and a tomato. I mean, I'm going to get something. 2 tomatoes reviewing SmackDown.
Hungover and Sunburn. That's just me.
Crime fighting duo. Here comes Hungover and Sunburn.
Like the sunburn is like everything he touches is like hungover.
We're going to go around. We're going to go around and see a witness. Hello, Vera. Do you have any details regarding the crime that was committed? Hungover, you got any questions for Vera?
I'm so glad you weren't knocking at 6 o'clock. That'll be the person coming round to shag your mum.
Bloody sick of working with you, Sunburn.
Put yourself together, Hangover.
Our days are over. You're too bloody loud, too bright at this time in the morning. Why didn't you just use sun cream? I don't know. Give us a swig of that sun cream. Glug. Is that anything?
So Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Time to consult my show plan from Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Right.
Actually,
we haven't got time for the serial mascot Mount Rushmore this week.
Not this week. We'll save that. Brian,
as well as Tony the Tiger's sexual partners that he's got written.
Oh, we'll definitely, we'll table that for another meeting.
Yeah.
It'll be great. The fantasy booking that Brian sent me, I want to touch on this quickly.
Yes,
because he put that on the list.
Fantasy booking, didn't he?
And he was very gracious not to post it on Twitter, even though I think he should, Brian. It's there in long form. You can throw it open to people to get their thoughts. And in case you do, I won't spoil some of it here. But what Brian, and I did say this in a message back to Brian, one crucial mistake he made was it was too exciting. He laid out basically between now and December, so the end of the John Cena run, effectively.
Yeah.
I don't know what to spoil. I think Brian should post this. Have the courage of your convictions. But there was a specific sort of like twist and one heel turn that I found like really, like I'm reading it. Oh my God. Like, that's really good. Really good stuff, Brian. But what he was doing was, crucial mistake, stuff would happen on Raw. Stuff would happen at the PLE. Stuff would happen at Saturday Night's Main Event. And stuff would just keep happening. Like, whoa. That's 6 years of stuff there, mate.
Slow it down, pal.
You have stuff happen at Saturday Night's Main Event, then nothing. Then 5 minutes at SummerSlam if you're lucky, then nothing. And maybe the Survivor Series, an angle advancement. Get yourself ready for the Rumble because we're going to continue John Cena's run forever and ever and ever. But yeah. Very good stuff, Brian, but I will say no more for now because I think you should share. We've got a very supportive community anyway. They don't be interested in reading it or pitching ideas or whatever, but it was a fun ride, and I particularly liked the idea of, I think all of us having this belief, flawed as it may be, that like John Cena might come good in the end, or there might be a way to rescue John Cena from this last run being the worst case scenario.
CM Punk.
Well, we all thought that, and then, you know.
Queen of the Ring is also completely up for grabs. You got Jay Cargill and Roxanne Perez. Great match that on Monday night. And tonight we have two slightly recently returned stars. Asuka, who looks phenomenal. Loved her return last week. And Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Another sort of coin flip, this one, for me.
Yeah, there's a certain...
Because I think our winner comes from over there.
Yeah, I think so too. There's a vintage quality to this, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's a kind of...
tag champs.
Tag team champions, called up from NXT roughly around the same time. Same era, anyway. I would say these two were the women beyond the four horsewomen that kind of define that first run, that first pre-Evolution 1 run. That were not that like Asuka was this NXT developmental done well, but she was certainly extremely well handled and protected on NXT. Alexa Bliss was more of a kind of a ground up prospect, done good. So yeah, I'm sort of keen to see this all these years later. Now that they're both refreshed, Asuka's just back, great. Alexa Bliss doesn't feel like she can take a loss. things are going too well.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing obviously standing in the way, the only person standing in the way is Charlotte Flair. And that might be the key to all this. Charlotte Flair costing Alexa Bliss, like basically throws fuel on their fire ahead of them probably like getting a Saturday night's main event or an Evolution 2
I think there could be a big match at Evolution,
They'll know that there's these shows up for grabs where a singles women's division match with no title, with nothing but history and rivalry and actual sort of emotional heft to it. They could be on the cusp of it. And
Becky Lynch versus Bayley, Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss for Evolution 2, for example.
Kind of
I know they've got the Becky Bayley match on Raw, but
and 2 world champions potentially to accommodate, and the NXT title match as well. It's already been booked for it. That could be your card, couldn't it?
Pretty much.
That'd be a whole show, especially if there's no women's tag match anymore.
Well, there's another person who could be added to this card as well that we're about to talk about in a second.
But yeah, I'll go with Asuka.
Okay.
Thanks to Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, I think it's either here or Saudi. So I'll say Alexa Bliss here to subsequently lose in Saudi via Charlotte Flair shenanigans, maybe? I don't know.
Does Asuka go for the mist and then Alexa holds Lily up in her face like that and the mists Lily and then Lily sort of like comes to life?
I really hope not.
And it chases away Asuka like it did Shayna Baszler that time. Oof, and Lily is added to the Wyatt 6 to make the Wyatt 7, but Alexa Bliss isn't.
Yeah, there's a Wyatt 6 to always consider around Alexa Bliss right now.
Sure is. Might not be this week.
Yeah, you're right in terms of neither can lose, really, or can afford to lose, which is why it's really good booking, or should be really good booking.
Yeah, I think Charlotte Flair interferes. I think they've nicely got something cooking there with her and Alexa Bliss. It's old, but it's new again between those two. Don't mind it.
Yeah, Asuka versus Alexa versus but Asuka versus either Roxanne Perez or Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
Asuka fought Jade Cargill with the 3-on-3.
Big 3 and Damage Control at WrestleMania 40. But
that's what I'll go with then.
Straight singles match is different.
Oh, wait, what did you say? You said Alexa.
I think Asuka wins.
Yeah, okay, well, I've got to go Alexa then.
Is that the rule?
Are we doing a pasty bet for the Sami Randy one? I don't feel as confident with this one.
Just for this match?
Just who wins that? Sami versus Randy.
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, go on.
I'll take that bet.
I say pasty bet. It's always a Good Brews bet. Hopefully Good Brews will be open next week.
Congratulations to the Good Brews family getting a little bit bigger of late. But when your maternity's finished, come back. We miss you.
Not always good when things get bigger and change, of course. Let's talk about Thomas the Woke Engine before we get to the final.
You've been stressed about this all week. Where's this going?
So, kind of getting back into Thomas the Tank Engine right now.
Yeah.
Eric, big fan. And I've subsequently discovered it's a very different show from the one I grew up with.
Because things change and that's all right.
Trains right, brother. None of him. He's not doing the voiceover anymore.
Hang on, do that again.
At least you got the trains right, brother. It's Ringo Starr.
Is it?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't do it. I don't know.
Is that not Alex Turner?
I was going to say. Those old trains.
But I've just got a bit of an issue with several things being changed. I don't like Thomas. He's a bit of a knobhead, to be honest, in the show.
I'll do what I bloody well please, said Thomas.
And, you know,
is that better?
I just want to point out, I have no issue with the new additions to the team, okay?
Okay.
Right?
The really useful crew.
The really useful crew. Well, and the problem is that them being brought in has kind of ruined what is a certified banger. Roll call, for those unaware. They're 2, they're 4, they're 6, they're 8. Shunting trucks and hauling freight. Previously used to go red and green and brown and blue. They're the really useful crew. However, due to standards and practices,
the Titan suits,
it's changed to yellow and green, red, orange and blue. Too much, right?
Yes, the iambic pentameter. I never use that
don't like
phrase
it.
correctly.
It feels weird. Yeah. I forget what the lyrics are. I look stupid in front of my son, more so than usual. All the different roles to play around. Tim in the sheds are far away. Down the hills around the bends. Thomas and his friends. Thomas, I think legacy-wise, in terms of like goats, in terms of like the Mount Rushmore of Thomas, obviously, number 1. Gordon Would you mentioned Gordon before?
I think Gordon's a suck-ass bitch. I don't like
You're
him.
not a fan of Gordon?
Was Gordon like the...
He's a grumpy old bastard.
Yeah,
and he's always like, I'm going really fast, get out of my way.
Yeah, Gordon...
Annie and Clarabelle as a threesome could be interesting as a...
Do you know, Clarabelle... Yeah.
But I think I'm just annoyed that one of my favourites, Henry, has been put out the pasture.
I'm still laughing at like the Rushmore Thomas, obviously.
Because we've
Their
got
faces would fit perfectly in Mount Rushmore because they're grey already, aren't they?
yeah, that's a
They
good
look like they
point.
belong on Mount Rushmore.
We've got Rebecca, Emily, and Nia who've been added to the team.
Okay.
And I'm not, I'm not so old fashioned as to.
This is where we arrived at this, isn't it? Because you kind of are getting confused and want to call her Nia. Or is it the other way around?
She's Nia.
Nia Jax is Nia.
Yeah.
They couldn't be clearer about that.
Do you know what else annoys me, actually? Whilst we're on
Please
the
tell
topic?
me.
So Thomas, he's the cheeky one. We all know that, obviously. James is vain but lots of fun. He's lost his spot. He's down. He's been relegated to like fifth, sixth mention.
Is he
here.
vain? Or is that just because it rhymes?
Rebecca, she's new and lots of fun. That's nice.
That rhymes with fun, though, right? So it just rhymed fun with fun.
He's the
is
cheeky
vain.
one. Thomas,
James-
he's the cheeky one. Rebecca, she's new and lots of fun.
Oh, so sorry, she's replaced James in
Yeah.
the credits. Got you.
Percy still pulls the mail on time. Gordon Thunder's down the line. Emily really knows her stuff. That's not changed, right? So that's fine. James is always showing off, right? So James has now taken Henry's spot and he's not got it back. I'm fizzing about that, right?
You're a Henry guy.
I'm a Henry guy.
Right.
Aunt Louise's nephew's called Henry. What do we tell him now when we go to Thomas Land? Sorry.
Who, Mama, Dada, who was I named after? Nobody anymore, that's who.
Edward wants to help and share. Nia's taken his spot, right? That's fine, but...
Does she want to help and share still?
Yeah, she's good, actually. I like Nia.
Okay.
The thing I also find, which I think is really
good,
funny...
good to have her on the dressing
Picture
room.
yourself, right? Close your eyes. Right, picture yourself. You're a train.
Got it.
Okay?
I'm there.
World's first square train, okay? Right.
What about Toby in the original lineup?
Yes.
So shut up.
But this is what I'm getting at. Thank you.
I
Right?
still need my eyes
So
closed.
everyone's getting a little mention in the song. Keep your eyes closed. You're Toby now.
Got
okay?
it.
Toby Hamflett, right? No. Okay. So they go around. You stood around with all the trains, and they're all hearing this song for the first time, right?
Yep.
You look across. There's Thomas. Thomas, he's the cheeky one. Rebecca, she's new and lots of fun. Percy pulls the mail on time. Gordon thunders down the line. Everyone's getting put over in the song, right?
Yeah.
Emily really knows her stuff. Stuff. It works for the rhyme, actually.
Stop.
Emily really knows her stuff. James is always shown off, right? That sounds like a dig.
Yeah.
But he is.
Okay.
And he knows that, and he knows that from the first
He owns
song.
that, yeah?
Yeah, that's him.
If I
That's
still got
James.
my eyes closed in this.
Yeah.
Okay.
James is always... Emily really knows her stuff. James is always showing off. Nia wants to help and share.
Mm-hmm.
Toby, well, let's say square. It's not changed. In 24 seasons, the poor bastard, he's like, is that all I get?
I can empathise. I can. But like I don't remember as a kid. Maybe I should have done looking at Toby.
Also, Henry was number 3 train. Like top 5, you cannot change.
This is like there's an element here where there's certain people believe certain football teams simply belong in the Premier League because they're part of whatever it was the era when you grew up into it, and you're feeling that about Thomas the Tank Engine. You like unrelegatable in your mind.
Yes,
Henry. Toby, was he ever any good?
I'm just scrolling through here, and it says later on under the Sodor Construction Company, Nigel, 21, cancelled character. So I don't know what Nigel did, but he is gone from the record.
It's all happening in Sodor. Yeah, was Toby ever any good? He had those like big wood panels and stuff, didn't he? He wasn't the most maneuverable.
I think he had a bit of a redemption arc I saw the other day. He was, I think he stopped some robbers.
Okay.
But more on that next week. Remind me next week. I'll bring you a bit of an update on Toby. Maybe let's put some respect on Toby's name now, shall we?
Fair enough. Yeah, you ever met Toby in real life?
Yeah, I went to school with Toby. He was weird. I'll tell you more about it afterwards. I can't tell this story on the podcast.
Oh God, all right.
Yeah.
It strikes me as like one of them like really posh names, or they'll shorten it to
The house
Tubes.
always stank of damp.
Oh no. Oh.
And we can't do it now. We've got wrestling to talk about. But remind me next week. I have a quiz to work out which train you are.
Oh great, yeah, we'll definitely do that.
So finally.
Damp is a really difficult thing to get on top of. If you're watching or listening, Toby, I'm sure you folks were trying their hardest.
So, finally, tonight on SmackDown, as if this show wasn't stacked enough, Trish Stratus returns, presumably with one eye on Evolution 2.
Oh, Shawn Michaels. What's this about?
I don't know.
It's not in Canada. She is probably going to cut a promo on the show. What did Trish Stratus last do? Can you remember? Quick memory man test.
She was there with, was it selling a show in Canada or something? What was it?
Close, you're close, but it's going to tie directly into something that happened last week. Don't Google it.
I'm not. I was looking up her previous matches because I remember I was trying to work out.
If you do that, that's going to give the whole.
Oh,
game
okay.
away.
She worked a tag match.
It's all coming together.
With Cody?
Nope.
Any ideas, Nicholas, with this one? Sorry, I just realised you've taken a drink whilst I'm asking you.
I've been looking up the trains from Thomas the Tank Engine for the last 5 minutes.
Okay,
so,
sorry.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll tell you.
Did you
She
say
worked a tag match. It was a mixed tag. No?
Nope.
Okay.
Trish Stratus, what worked the tag match?
What's the last thing Trish Stratus did in WWE?
Worked a tag
Hang on with
match.
Dwayne Johnson, right?
With Babyface at this point.
Babyface, not with Dwayne Johnson.
Because there's the Zoe Stark
Although
stuff,
they did
obviously.
share time on the show.
Yeah, that's why I remember them being in the same place, right?
She worked.
Same building.
Tiffany Stratton, of course.
Against?
Charlotte Flair.
Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez.
Nope.
Oh, God, I would have definitely said Charlotte Flair. No, that wouldn't have worked. That would be stupid. Against
Ask
Nia
yourself
Jax.
why this works right now. It
Nia
was
Jax.
Nia Jax.
and
Candice LeRae.
Candice LeRae,
In that
yeah.
brief thing they were doing. But it was an Elimination Chamber on the undercard,
That
which
was
nobody
it.
remembers anymore. It was in Toronto because it was where John Cena turned heel and Trish was getting a hometown show. I've spilt effing coffee everywhere.
1 in a billion.
Dad in a billion.
Uh,
What does that mean, though?
yeah. Thanks, kids. But like,
That must have cost him a pretty penny.
Here is a
Cost somebody a pretty penny.
statistic mug.
thank you for this that you got from your school shop. It's so thoughtful. And it's blue, which is why I saved it for the SmackDown thing. But switching the video off in 3, 2, 1. It doesn't like say I'm a good dad. It just says I'm our dad.
On the show where we regularly talk about your weekend plans, is it?
Yeah, there's it's like toys in Toys R Us. There's billions of dads all under one roof, and I'm one. It's called Dads R Us, Dads R Us, Dads R Us. So, and it doesn't.
It's rubbish.
Nah,
It's rubbish.
I love it.
Changed my mind.
Yeah, you can't now. This is the thing about having kids. You can't. Got them forever.
But you can go to Fickle Friends gigs on
You
Friday
can. I
nights
live a very,
instead,
very,
so-
very charmed life, and I love my kids. I also love the business, the wrestling business. And Trish Stratus coming back now, a week after Nia Jax attacked Tiffany Stratton and was like, she's mine. When to stop Naomi, it was cashing
Naomi
in.
was going to cash in.
Like, just do that.
Just Nia Jax versus Trish Stratus at Evolution.
Or build a match for TV or Saturday night's main
Or
event.
she could just be the host, I suppose.
Yeah,
if she-
millions of opportunity, and it all ties together. Like Tiffany's like, "Oh, great to see you, Trish," and Trish's like, "Oh, great to see you too. I saw what happened last week, though. You still struggling with that Nia Jax?" And Tiffany's like, "Yeah, they've not really given me much creative outside of
Yeah,
Charlotte
but
Flair."
I was all focusing on Money in the Bank. I was just sort of there.
Yeah, you don't want to see what happened with me, Charlotte. So they kind of sent me back to where I was before. And Trish's like, "Oh, whoa, it's time to rock and roll." Segment wrapped.
I think she's going to get some random match.
I think Nia Jax takes her out Annihilator. She maybe says she's going to host Evolution or something along those lines. That's a good shout. And then Nia Jax beats her up and stretches her out or something. Like, Trish Stratus vomits up blood.
Jesus Christ.
There you go. I called it once and it happened, so let's see if we can make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird sudden turn of events, this, especially like you say, if you've got the Evolution card in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Looking through who she could even work with on the roster. Let's have a look at the SmackDown lineup. If there's anyone there that screams, if it's not Nia Jax, and they're not just going to run that back.
Okay.
Is there anyone obvious that... Chelsea Green has just popped into my head.
Oh, that's nice. That is nice.
Have they had any interactions?
Must have.
They might have had like a backstage thing, I suppose. But
or something online.
she's obviously not. She's missed out on the. She's missed out on Queen of the Ring. She wasn't even there for that.
Mm-hmm.
She's kicking off to SmackDown GM. I can't remember what his name is. Who's pulled double duty this week.
He did.
He's at the end of his tether.
Oh, do you know what as well? Sidgwick named him on Raw and I've forgotten again. That's annoying.
Named him about half an hour ago as well.
I've forgotten again. I was in the cracker zone then. I was like, by the way, it's not graham crackers, I don't think. I think I got that one wrong. I believe it's saltines. I think. Cream crackers. Saltines. Better name. Americans get it right as usual. What were we talking about yesterday where Americans got better names? Oh, it was when there was that video where they were naming football teams based on their club crest.
Yes, the Chelsea video. Then.
There was a Brentford one where it was like the Bee Defenders.
The non-stop bumblebees or something.
Non-stop bumblebees, yeah, they were great.
What were you? White Castle.
White Castle, which was where I saw somebody with a gun in New York. That's where I saw somebody with a gun at a White Castle.
I would like Chelsea Green versus Trish Stratus now. I've
Yeah.
said it. Now I've spoken that into reality. I think it's a hell of a show.
There's enough shows. When we fantasy book these matches these days, there's never been more realistic time to get them because there's about 15 cards WWE have got a book.
Yeah,
for,
it's not just Evolution.
Point.
It's
There's so much stuff to build.
American base.
There's so many cards to build up to. So yeah,
Night's main event. That's all the same weekend as well. Jesus.
2 SummerSlams.
Oh yeah.
There's loads. There's absolutely bloody loads.
Where's the SummerSlam New Jersey again?
New Jersey. 2 nights. So much going on.
That's a great shout. Well, I'm really excited for SmackDown tonight.
Me too.
Let us know your thoughts on, everything that we've discussed in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling. Yeah, wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. Going to have a Dadley Boys Q&A this weekend. And, of course, Wrestle Culture with a hashtag Bloody Good quiz coming your way later on today. I said where you can follow you on Twitter. My brain's all over the place.
At
today.
Michael Hamflett is where you can follow me on Twitter.
Let him know your thoughts on his attempt at breaking a world record. More of that next week.
Yeah, I got some sad thoughts on that. I'm gonna do better next week.
You can follow the brilliant Michael Sidgwick at Sidgwick. You can follow our long-suffering producer Adam Nicholas at
It's Adam Nicholas.
And you can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE, as I said. But for now, this has been the SmackDown preview, where we've talked about a whole load of things. But in terms of wrestling, we have talked about a potential another WWE legend heading to Evolution. Does Jacob Fatu still love Solo Sikoa? Just another word on that quickly. No?
No.
Okay. The Queen of the Ring semi-final. Will Sami Zayn make the King of the Ring final? And R-Truth / Ron Killings, versus John Cena.
The SmackDown preview. It's got all this, and I can do that cracker thing in under 64.
We'll see you soon.